Philly sports, it's trending up. It's like a perfect storm right now. The Eagles riding high into the bye. Sixers, 4-0. Flyers, 5 of their last 6. Everything is trending up. It's perfect. It's been a while since we felt this way. We're going to talk about it. We're going to keep the vibes going high today. Myles Garrett, rumored to the Eagles. We're going to discuss not just the realness of that, but also the practicality of it. We got lots to talk about. And no more ESPN on YouTube TV. Trending in the AM. We're live. Let's get at it in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody. And welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We're live, YouTube and Twitter. You know the drill. Wherever you're watching, hit that like button, subscribe to the STT Sports Network YouTube page, and share this out on your social media platforms so we can continue to grow this great channel and continue to set the trends for what sports talk should be. Also, for those watching on Twitter, make sure you head to YouTube to vote on our YouTube poll question of the day. Would you be okay with Howie Roseman trading 3 first-round draft picks for Myles Garrett? We're going to get into that in a second here. But, guys, first and foremost, you always like, you subscribe, you share, and you vote on the poll question. I'm Phil Stiefel. Happy Halloween to everybody. It's Halloween. It's dress up how you want day. And here I am in my same old garb. It's the end of October. Lots going on right now. But to those that celebrate, to those that love to get dressed up, happy Halloween. You would have to give up too much talking about Myles Garrett. We're going to get into this in a second. Guess who's back again? Hopefully there's no power outage today like yesterday, multiple times. Ravens back. They played good. They played a really bad Dolphins team. Would be shocked if one Mr. McDaniels does not get fired this weekend. Good morning, Robert. How you doing on this beautiful Halloween morning? I think it's supposed to be a little cool today, but we'll see. Halloween is not a fun holiday for me. It is an interesting holiday, but not a fun one. It's always one of the busiest days in the pizza business. So probably be my second busiest day this year behind the Super Bowl. So, yeah, my body is not prepared for what it's about to endure about 2-3 hours from now when I get to work. But before then, we got to work here. Lakers sold what? It's not just the picks. It's also fitting Myles Garrett into your cap plans while having a lot of other big players to resign. A great comment and great question. So let's get into the Myles Garrett rumors. First and foremost, these Myles Garrett Eagles rumors started yesterday from an ESPN affiliate station in Cleveland that reported that Howie Roseman called and offered 3 first-round picks for him. Not sure the validity of this station. Not sure their sources. But then after that video dropped yesterday of their program, you start to see other news outlets pick up on the rumors and start reporting that it is a possibility that Howie has made multiple calls, not just one call. We know Howie was in on Micah Parsons. Jerry Jones just chose not to send him here. So we know he's willing to part with draft capital to bring in an elite edge rusher. Myles Garrett's the best of the best of the best with honors. Is the rumor true? And do you want Howie to follow through with this? That's the first 2 questions. The third question, are you willing to part with 3 first-round picks? And why 3 picks? Because that's what was that was what was reported in the report, that he was offering 3 first-round picks. And I like to look at this a couple different ways. First off, the Khalil Mack, when the Bears traded for him from the Raiders back in 2018, whatever. They gave up 2 firsts, a third, and then had to give him a $140 million extension. Khalil Mack's locked up for a long time. Now, DeMarco, with the cap situation, his cap hit the next 2 or 3 years is extremely low. So the cap hit wouldn't come into play until 40 years down the line because he just signed a big contract. It's backloaded, a lot of void years, things like that. So I don't think the cap hit is an issue with the Myles Garrett thing. You don't have to give him another extension on top of it. But I look at it 2 different ways. So the Bears gave up 2 first-round picks for, at the time, the best edge rusher, Khalil Mack. Those 2 first-round picks turned into Josh Jacobs, really good running back, and Damon Arnett, a cornerback, who I don't even know who that is off the top of my head. But on the other side of the equation, Howie Roseman has become very good at drafting in the first round. Our last 3 years of first-round picks included Jihaad Campbell this year, Quinyon Mitchell last year, Nolan Smith, and Jalen Carter the year before. So are you willing to give up Nolan Smith, Jihaad Campbell, and Quinyon Mitchell for Myles Garrett? Now, there's no doubting what Myles Garrett would bring to the table for the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, they literally would bring a guy that is absolutely hands down the best at his job in this game. No doubt about it. But are you willing to part with 3 future picks like that? And I think that's a bit much. Now, if two is the max, this year's and next year's, you've got a Super Bowl window that's wide open. Absolutely. But those windows can close fast in the NFL, right? We've seen it happen before. The next 3 seems a bit much. But if I told you you're going to offer 2 firsts and a third, maybe you throw in somebody like Nolan Smith. Would you do it? Would you do 2 firsts and Nolan Smith or Jalen Carter? I think all that is more than fine to be on the table in this deal. I have no problem giving up our next 2 first-round picks to go out and get, like I said, the best at it. A position where we know, go get Myles Garrett. That'll help your cornerback 2 position, your slot cornerback, your safeties. You go get the best edge rusher in football. Everything on your defense changes. Now, there's also the question of how he would fit into a Vic Fangio scheme. You're not going to be dropping him back into coverage. So would Vic Fangio pivot enough in his style to get it done? A lot of questions there that would need to be answered. So far, early on the voting, we're at 70-30. Yes, you would trade 3 first-round picks. To know you would not do that. I'd be very concerned giving up 3 straight. Todd says just do the deal. And look, and I think saying just do the deal is a perfectly valid opinion. Todd, I really do. I do. My only concern is with the way a Super Bowl window, while we think it's wide open right now, the way it could close like that, and then not having a pick for the next 3 years. 2, I can swallow. But again, Howie is great at drafting the first round now. I mean, getting Jihaad Campbell, getting Quinyon Mitchell, Jalen Carter the last 3 years. But again, how many first-round picks work out? They're all going to be late-round first-round picks anyway, right? Like I said, the Khalil Mack deal netted the Raiders, Josh Jacobs and Damon Arnett, a really good running back and a cornerback I've never heard of. Are you going to get anywhere close to Myles Garrett production with those 3 first-round picks or 2 first-round picks? Fine if you don't want to, Grok. What? Sometimes you just make no sense when you comment. Sometimes these things just make no sense. Anyway, I think it's really intriguing. I don't even know. I don't even know how real the validity of these rumors are. The blackouts. Yeah, look. Power outage yesterday. Power came back on. The internet came back on, obviously. And then the internet went out, and then it came back on. Then it went out again. I'm like, you know what? Enough. Today it's supposed to be super windy out there, too. It rained like crazy yesterday. But yeah, we're back until it goes out again today, which it could. I mean, YouTube's already blacked out. ESPN and ABC and Disney. That's something we got to talk about. Streaming services and these blackouts. To help answer my question, I will ask K1. What question? Is Halloween satanic? I don't know. And what are my top candies? Well, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are always number one Halloween candy. Last year we did like a March Madness bracket. I forget what one. I'm a huge Kit Kat guy. I think Kit Kat chocolate is elite. Secretly, I'm a big Three Musketeers fan. It's one of my sleepers right there. But frozen peanut butter cups, there's nothing better than that. But I'll eat anything as long as it's chocolate and it doesn't have coconut. I'm not a coconut person. But that would be my favorite candies right there. Three Musketeers are good too. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are only great out of the freezer. The Pieces, the Reese's Pieces, they don't need to go in the freezer. They're more in the M&M category. They're basically just peanut M&Ms. Peanut butter M&Ms. So, yeah, no. But Reese's Peanut Butter Cups absolutely got to go in the freezer. I love some people I know that they'll make homemade Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. They're always really good as well. I'm not a huge Halloween person. Halloween's never been, in the food business, it's always a busy day. But on the flip side, growing up, I didn't live on a street that was great for trick-or-treating. Yeah, Reese's Cups will always be the top candy. I personally will take a nice Kit Kat over a Reese's any day, but it's a 1-2 for me. Easy, without question. That's 1-2. Reese's Kit Kats. And depending on the day and the mood, I'll go either way. Again, I think people underestimate the value of a good Three Musketeer bar, though, too. I mean, it's good chocolate. Light, it's fluffy. Used to hate Almond Joys, but in my 50s, Almond Joys are my favorite. I am not an almond, peanut, pecan. I don't eat those things. Don't know why. I love peanut butter, but I don't like nuts. So if it's like a whipped peanut butter, fine. But anything else nut-related, I don't do. Do the Sixers go 5-0 tonight? I think it's a great question. We got great Sixers news yesterday in the fact that Jarrett McCain was back full participant in practice, leading some to believe that he's on his way back. Reports saying as early as next week, Paul George will be back. So this Sixers team, going into tonight's game against Boston, they've had 2 nights off. Joel Embiid is scheduled to play again. It's against the Celtics. We already beat them in the first game of the season. The Sixers have a chance to go 5-0 tonight. No one would have expected that. And with all the positivity on the forefront, with getting your full complement of players back very soon. The vibes. We're flying high. It's a perfect storm. It's all smiles in Philly. Do the Sixers win tonight? I'm going to say yes, they do. Actually, I don't even have the game cast up. I wonder what the line is for tonight since we're 4-0. The Celtics are definitely not, and we already beat them. Who is favored in this game? We are 1.5-point favorites. Okay. All right. So that's good. I think the Sixers continue winning tonight. I do. I think we get up to about 26 minutes, up a few more minutes from Joe. He went 20-20 and then 23 in his last game. I think you get about 25 to 26 minutes from Joel Embiid tonight and another 20-plus points from him. I can't wait for Jarrett McCain to return to this team. I know Paul George will be back, and I hope Paul George will accept a different role, which we heard from Sean Bernard on, how he's just going to be a very expensive 3-and-D player. And so if he accepts that, I'm excited for him. If he wants the ball in his hands all the time, I'm not. But Jarrett McCain coming back, I am so ready to see that McCain, Maxey, Edgecombe lineup on the court at the same time. Same with Butterfingers. That's like midlife. Dude, I love a good Butterfinger, too. I didn't always like them, but I came around. Look at Phil, full of hope again for the Sixers, only pre-crushed again. You know what? I can't be crushed on the Sixers again. Because I don't have, like, the Eagles falling short of the Super Bowl will disappoint me, will crush me, because I have a huge expectation on them. I have zero expectations. I'm just enjoying watching fun basketball again. And I think that's what makes it so easy. Tonight's game's on Prime. I'm going to be so busy at the pizza shop, I'm not even thinking twice about the Sixers game till after 9 o'clock tonight. But there's a lot of other things you can't watch tonight either. So if you're just waking up and finding out, YouTube TV, if you have it, pulled all Disney channels off of YouTube TV. So that means there's no ESPN, there's no ABC, there's no Disney channels. I don't know how long this blackout is going to last. But every single goddamn week, it seems like YouTube TV is pulling their shit again. And there's an issue between some channel, and most of them haven't been worked out lately. I know NBC Sports was the most recent one. They worked it out at the 23rd hour. Looks like ABC Disney did not work it out with YouTube. So there'll be no Sunday Night Football in this household. No, Sunday Night Football. No, Monday Night Football in this household. They better get it worked out before Eagles Monday Night Football next weekend, and I would assume they will. But that would be a problem. These channels with their deals with the streaming networks, it's becoming just too much. Good morning, Little G. Hope you are good today. All right, let's bring this back to the conversation at hand now. This Myles Garrett rumor. Would you trade 3 first-round picks for Myles Garrett? And this is just a rumor. See, there's two different things. Do I think Howie Roseman called the Browns for Myles Garrett? Absolutely. Howie Roseman is the most aggressive GM in football. He's most diligent GM in football. There is not one team he has not called and asked about a certain player on. Howie Roseman does his due diligence on every player. So the reports that Howie called on Myles Garrett, I 100% believe in. Now, the reports from that ESPN in Cleveland channel that says he's already offered 3 firsts and they turned it down, I guess, that I think is a bit much. Although, again, if Howie was willing to offer more than the Cowboys got for Micah Parsons, maybe there's some validity to it. Maybe he really has tried to pry him away. Now, the Browns seem very stuck on not trading him. He seems very frustrated with Cleveland, despite just signing that massive contract, despite just saying he'd rather stay in Cleveland. Now he kind of wants out of Cleveland. Is it even in the realm of possibility? Or was Howie waiting to see what else became available? You got the Dolphins lose last night again. The Dolphins should be in a full fire sale right now. What would you rather do? Trade 3 first-round picks for Micah Parsons? Or go get one of the Dolphins' edge rushers that are available now? I guarantee that you could get a Jalen Phillips or a Bradley Chubb a hell of a lot cheaper than a Myles Garrett. You have to. If a player gets traded and the trade was doable, it then would be a huge miss. I mean, 3 first-round picks is it doable? The question is 3 first-round picks doable or not? And I'm looking at it from 2 ways, Al. I'm looking what the picks that were given up for Khalil Mack, the last huge edge rusher traded in season, became Josh Jacobs and Damon Arnett. Josh Jacobs, good running back. Arnett, who knows? I don't even know who he is off the top of my head. But you also look at who the Eagles drafted with their last 3 first-round picks. I guess technically their last 3 were Campbell, Mitchell, and Nolan Smith, because Nolan Smith was the 2nd first-rounder. Howie can definitely draft well in the first round, even late in the first round. It's not worth it, you're saying. Got you. But you have to call to find it. Absolutely. See, that's the thing. I think these reports are being blown out of the water because I don't think Howie would offer 3 first-round picks. Yes, 3 firsts for a 30-year-old player is kind of insane. But again, he's elite of the elite of the elite, right? His cap hit the next 2 years is not bad. If you can get him for 2 and say Nolan Smith, is that more reasonable for a 30-year-old guy? Because your window is open to win a Super Bowl, right? It can close fast, but it's not going to close before the end of next year. Now, it could in theory close after that. Would you rather give up 2 firsts and a player? I'm just using the name Nolan Smith because he's got to be paid next out of that edge group. 2 firsts and Nolan Smith, or would you rather give up a 3rd or a 4th rounder for Bradley Chubb or Jalen Phillips? Do you get more value out of doing that? I think teams are also not going to want to make trades make the Eagles stronger. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. A team might overpay if Micah Parsons is available for a 2 firsts and a 3rd, theoretically speaking, from the Eagles. Another team might up their offer 2 3 firsts for him to keep him away from the Eagles. But the Browns don't care about making the Eagles stronger. They don't. Because the Browns are so far away from competing that by the time those 3 first-round picks they get mature, they don't care. There are certain teams, the Cowboys wouldn't trade with the Eagles, obviously. The Giants wouldn't trade us Brian Burns right now, obviously. But a team like the Browns, they're not concerned with making the Eagles stronger right now because they're so far away from contending that it doesn't matter. If anyone sees K1, ask him questions, whatever. Go get an edge rusher from the Dolphins. And that's the other option, right? You can get an edge rusher from the Dolphins. You can get an edge rusher from a bunch of teams for a 3rd, 4th, 5th round pick. But are they going to bring you the same impact instantly that Myles Garrett would? 2 firsts is hard nowadays since Howie has been strong with his picks. Also, and again, we're not trading a top 10 pick. We're trading picks. This year's pick will be 28th at worst. Next year's will be 28th, 27th at worst. Right? Could be 31st, 32nd, right? So, Howie's been great in the draft. I mean, Quinyon Mitchell late last year, Jihaad Campbell this year. Nolan Smith was at, 30, 31 the year before that. I'm not so sure Nolan Smith is elite yet or not, but whatever. Well, where the Raiders missed on one of their 2 picks they got for Khalil Mack, the Eagles haven't missed on a first-round pick since Jalen Reagor. That was 2020. Jalen Reagor's still playing in the NFL. So, I think it's I understand the people. So right now the poll question, would you do it? It's 58 yes, 42% no. I think I agree with the people that are voting yes. I also agree with the people that are voting no. Could you also imagine, good morning, Adam. How you doing today? Could you imagine our defense? We talked yesterday about how high can our defense get? Can it get back to a top 3, top 5 defense? Do you understand what a defensive line would look like with Myles Garrett, Jalen Carter on it together, and with Jordan Davis as well? Might be the most dangerous defensive line in football. It also solves your cornerback 2 position because the pressure you would get on a cornerback with those guys adding him to the defensive line would instantly make all your cornerbacks and secondary in general that much better. I'm prepared to talk a lot of Cooper Dejean. I got some Cooper Dejean things to get into. Cooper Dejean becomes even better. Adoree Jackson's serviceable on the outside if you add Myles Garrett. When our secondary was at its best in 2022, it's because we had a great pass rush. We led the league in sacks. We almost set the NFL record for a season in sacks. We just came up just short of the Bears record. which is weird because we're talking about comparing this trade potential to the last big trade, which was a Bears trade. Our secondary was so great that year because of that pass rush. We gave Slay and Bradbury extensions because of the pass rush made their job easier. They won all pros because our pass rush made their job easier. What's up, Soldier Steve? How you doing this morning? I hope you're ready for a fun Halloween. I think if the Eagles were in play on Micah Parsons, they should and would be in on Garrett through the trade. And that's the big key why I think there's validity to the rumors, right? I don't know if I believe the rumors that they've already offered 3 first-round picks because the Browns GM would be nuts not to instantly accept 3 first-round picks, right? And in 3 years, we are 8-9 because Miles is old and we have no depth with no draft picks. And I think that's extremely fair. But in 3 years, we win one more Super Bowl. Just here, you get one more Super Bowl, maybe you get 2 more appearances. And that's why in 3 years, I'm not giving up 3 firsts. I'd be more stuck with 2 firsts, a third, and a player. So you have that pick 3 years from now to draft his replacement. And that 8-9 record, you're getting a slightly better spot to pick it. So I'm in on Myles Garrett. I'm not in on 3 first-round picks, K1. And this is the reason why. You get 2 more appearances and 1 more victory. I don't care about being 8-9 in 3 years. I'm over that. That's why I'm in on it. But also, if they were really legitly in on Micah Parsons, you have to understand that Howie knows and understands the importance of the position. It also goes to show how important an edge rush is. So I ran a bunch of poll questions on Twitter yesterday, all around different Eagles things, okay, and topics from yesterday's show before it was cut off. Yesterday, we were talking about which one of these 4 guys did we miss the most? Taking the money and the contracts out of the equation. Isaiah Rodgers, Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, CJ GJ. Because we were talking about the cornerback position. And I just assumed Isaiah Rodgers would run away with this poll result. And it's not as I'm shocked. I'm glad, but I'm not shocked. Josh Sweat is only so right now on this poll, Isaiah Rodgers has 40% of the vote. 37% of the vote is Josh Sweat. 18 is Milton Williams. Only 4% voted for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Biggest who you'd want back. What was the biggest loss? Josh Sweat in his pass rush last year, while inconsistent, was better than what we're getting now. And people realize you need to have that great pass rush. 3 is way too much. 2 is doable, but still need good, cheap players. And 2 straight up isn't enough, right? What did Micah Parsons get? 2 firsts and an all-pro player, right? I think was there any other draft picks involved in Micah Parsons' deal? So if Micah Parsons goes for 2 firsts and a player, so you're talking 2 firsts, and who would be that player? Would it be Nolan Smith? I personally would have no problem. And I got crushed for saying this before. In the offseason, I said I would have traded whatever. I forget. I think a 3rd-round pick in Nolan Smith for Trey Hendrickson. Everyone's like, you can't trade for Trey, and you can't give up on Nolan. I'm not giving up on Nolan. I just understand that he's in his 3rd year, and he hasn't fully developed yet to what we hope he can be. EC1, you're right. Garrett Carter be unfair. 3 first-round picks is a lot. I prefer 2 and another pick, a 3rd, or Nolan Smith, or Jalen Carter. But 3 first-round picks is a lot. And as I said, you might be just joining us. I said it a few minutes ago, EC, that if they did do 3 firsts for him, I think it's too much, but I would absolutely do it. I understand why you would say yes to 3. He instantly makes your defense the best defense in football. It's already a good defense rounded into form. It instantly makes it even better. I'd say Myles Garrett, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, throw them all in there. Who's stopping that? What offensive line can stop that? Howie brings 2 firsts to the table to the Browns. We'll refer them back to last week when Garrett had 5 sacks. We had 5 sacks as a team last week. Myles Garrett had 5 himself. It's crazy. Not trade Nolan. And I get that. There's a lot of people that like Nolan. I like Nolan as well. Right? I'd rather, though, give up Nolan than that other first-round pick, because in 3 years you can use that pick to draft your next replacement on the edge if the window closes. I want to be here in 3 years when we're 8 and 9 and you calling for Howie to be fired. Save it. Save it, K1. Call me out for it. Sure. If the reason I'm saying is because we don't have enough picks because we traded for Myles Garrett. I'm an all-in the moment guy. I worry about tomorrow. It's always how I've been with sports. And if Howie's so great, he can figure it out. Again, I think there is no wrong answer to this rumor. Again, it's just a rumor as well, right? I don't think voting yes or no for today's poll question. Now we're up to 62% on the yes, 38% on the no. I don't think there is a wrong answer. If Howie wouldn't pull it, if it comes out and is confirmed that he refused to put a third first-round pick to get Myles Garrett, I wouldn't be mad at him. If it comes out he did offer 3 and the deal goes through or the deal doesn't go through, I'm not going to be mad at him. I don't think he could do either or here, and I'd be upset. I think it's perfectly fine either way. I really, truly do. Guys, you're watching Training the AM. Make sure if you have not, we only got 10 likes on this video so far. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Of course, subscribe. Keep voting on the poll question of the day. It's Happy Halloween. Yay! Halloween! Woo! Good morning, Elephant in the Room. How you doing? Watching any good Ridley Scott movies this morning? Look, there is no wrong answer to this question. I thought it was stupid fan trying to be shelter when heard this when dude on X sends me the clip. Look, I still don't know the validity of this rumor. It was an ESPN affiliate in Cleveland that reported this or was talking about it on their radio show yesterday. I don't know. It wasn't like this came from Adam Schefter or Tom Pelissero or something like that, or Ian Rappaport. It came from an ESPN affiliate. And we know the radio stations in Philly don't always give good information. Maybe they were trying to drum up some extra views on their channel. But then afterwards, other people started picking up on it. This is an LA Rams type trade that led to them winning a Super Bowl. They haven't cared too much about first round picks, and they still haven't been a solid team. And I think that's very fair. Very fair statement. And I knew someone was going to bring up the Rams, too. I mean, they went, like 6 years in a row without a first round pick? I don't even think I'm being sarcastic there, Steve. Again, the Khalil Mack, 2 firsts and a third. 1 first-round pick turned out to be good that they gave up. 1 not so good. Drafts are hit or miss. Remember when we got J.J. on that? Yeah, look, J.J. was probably the last good in-season trade Howie made. Howie plotting and planning in the offseason, drafting, trading, and that kind of free agency, he's a wizard, right? He lays in the weeds, and he's great at it. But there's no denying the fact that Howie has also had not one good in-season trade since 2017. J.J. So there's that aspect, too. Oh, it was on Halloween that we got J.J. I understand your comment. No, a little bit better. I didn't know what you meant there. Interesting. Interesting, EC1. Maybe today will be the day. Maybe Howie could only make an in-season trade on Halloween. I think today you're not going to see Chubb get traded. If Chubb gets traded, it'll be tomorrow. Today they're going to fire McDaniels. Tomorrow they'll clean house and trade Chubb, Phillips, whoever else. Now, I was looking at the box score of the Ravens-Dolphins game last night, and I forgot Rasul Douglas was on there. How about Rasul Douglas? He's still playing good football. A cheap trade to the secondary. Call Miami and ask for Chubb or Phillips and Rasul Douglas. The Dolphins are going to be in fire sale mode this weekend since it's like the long week because of their Thursday night football game. They need trade Tua, horrible Cleveland. Look, I got a joke on this one here. But Tua, I feel Tua's not getting traded anywhere. I don't think anyone would take on the risk of Tua with his injury history. But I did see someone joke that you can lesser the trade package to Cleveland. Give up a hell of a lot less first-round picks if you include a quarterback, a.k.a. what would Cleveland take 1 first in Tanner McKee? 1 first and a third in Tanner McKee? Would you include Tanner McKee in a trade for Myles Garrett to lessen the first-round pick blow? Just throwing it out there. I value our first way more now that Howie has figured out how to draft it. And it's 100% of value. That's why there is no wrong answer to this question today. Because the Dolphins stink. McDaniels has lost that locker room. Tua and him don't get along. Tua need to go to retirement. I still trade 3 firsts for Garrett, though. I see both sides so much on this. Change of scenery. Tanner McKee would probably tear it up in Cleveland. Hey, what's up, Dave? How you doing this morning? Look, just throwing that. I saw it. I laughed. It would upset the McKeesters so much. But can you get away with 1 first-rounder McKee and some other draft picks? I bet you they would move on from Dylan Gabriel in a heartbeat for Tanner McKee. If you throw in Sidney Brown, Cleveland's going to want more draft picks for taking on Sidney Brown. Garrett and Sanders and a 6th for 2 first-round picks and Tanner. Do the deal, right? You want Sanders or you want Ward? Garrett and Ward for Garrett and Ward for 2 first-rounders and McKee. How about that? Now we're getting really out of there, right? How often do you have the opportunity to acquire a Hall of Famer? The Browns acquire. Are you talking about the Browns acquiring Tanner McKee? So they would do the swap then for Myles Garrett straight up then, based off of that comment, calling Tanner McKee a Hall of Famer already. That's like me saying that Ridley Scott's the greatest director of all time. No, I get what you're saying. Look, there is an argument to be made on both sides. There's also the argument to be made, how does Myles Garrett fit in here? Would Vic Fangio pivot his philosophies to fit Myles Garrett? And that's another question that needs to be answered. 3 first-round picks, Josh Uche, and a 3rd. You're way up in it now. If you're doing 3 first-round picks, I'm including any players, right? Josh Uche, sure. I mean, I don't think he has the value. You would have to throw him in there with the 3 first-round picks. I think you can keep Josh Uche, eliminate a first-round pick, and throw in Nolan Smith. Look, I like Nolan Smith. Obviously, you don't want to trade Nolan Smith. But Nolan Smith, to me, is not the type of guy that holds up a deal. Oh, you want Nolan Smith or you're not making the deal? Okay. That's not even a hesitation to me. Nolan Smith's a really nice young player. But he's in his 3rd year. He's been hurt multiple times. I know you're not trading him, but I don't think he's as valuable as you think he is. At this point of his career, he's still very replaceable. Upgrading Myles Garrett to Nolan Smith to Myles Garrett, it's a huge deal. Not trading J.D., Nolan, Dean, Carter. So you're throwing a bunch of different topics into this here. Jordan Davis, I don't know. We picked up his 5th-year option. He's going to want to get played. He's playing well. I think you keep J.D. Nolan's on the table. Dean, if you're not planning on re-signing him, you should be consider trading him, although he's played really well. And Jalen Carter's not on the trade table. Jalen Carter would never be on the table to be in a trade. Dean is worth a conversation if you're not willing to extend him. I know you would be willing to extend him. I would be willing to extend him. But will Howie be willing and capable of extending him? If not, he's on the table. If you were to isolate the late 90s and early 2000s, there's an argument that could be mentioned among the best. Yeah, look, I don't want to talk about Ridley Scott today. I could care less about Ridley Scott. It's Halloween. What's your favorite? You know, TMZ asked about Halloween candy. I want to ask about Halloween movies. Okay. Who's your favorite Halloween movie, universe? Freddy, Jason, the Saw movies. What's your favorite? To me, it's always Freddy Krueger. I think when I was a kid, Freddy Krueger gave me more nightmares than any other genre of those horror movies. Highly unlikely, but trade Myles Garrett, new team cap hit. I saw the cap hit numbers online. I'm not worried about the financials aspect of it. Not at all. Okay? They do take on a big dead cap hit for trading him, but that's where the multiple first-round picks have to come into play. Nolan Smith, I'm not saying he's going anywhere. I'm not saying he's even on the trade block. I'm just saying, would you, if you wanted to put him on the block to save a first-round pick, would you? Michael Myers was Adam's biggest fear. I was never scared of Michael Myers. I wasn't. Dude, I don't even remember which one it was. There's 97 Freddy Krueger movies. I was a kid. I think it was the second or the third one they did, where they had a scene where a girl fell asleep at a hospital, and you had her strung up along the ceiling with all the blood and all. It was such cheesy graphics now that it was so cheesy when I was a kid, right? Or now looking back on it, not as a kid. Let me tell you something. That scene made me not sleep for 3 days. I was always a Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy. I would put Texas Chainsaw Massacre over Michael Myers. Absolutely, Steve. But Freddy Krueger was always number one for me. Always. Freddy Krueger movies I'd watch. Horror movies don't really do it for me. Old school ones do. But back in the day, they just bore me, the modern horror movie. Too much CGI, too much fakeness of it, too much stupidity. To me, all I like to watch is the Treehouse of Horrors. I still get such a kick out of watching Treehouse of Horrors. Simpsons. Pennywise, it's okay. It's all right. First 3-4 Saw movies. I was just watching Saw 1 was on the other night, and I put it on for a little bit. The first Saw, high quality. High quality. I'm a Friday the 13th guy. Yeah, it's good stuff. Coincidence? What's a coincidence? Oh, the stock price, whatever. Who cares? Who follows that? Who's invested in Meta? I have not. It's not in my portfolio, okay? Do I have a portfolio? I don't even know. I have no clue. All right, so we went over one of the poll questions from yesterday about who we missed the most out of the guys we lost. And Isaiah Rodgers, or Josh Sweater, neck and neck. I also asked the question yesterday, and I put it to a poll vote on Twitter. Is Cooper Dejean one of the 5 most important players on the Eagles roster right now? And I say Jalen Hurts and Lane Johnson are the only 100% locks. And I got a lot of blowback saying no. Carter is not in the top 5 most important players. That he's more important than Quinyon Mitchell and Jalen Carter because of the role on this defense. So I put the poll out there. Yes, he's top 5. No, not close. No, but 6 or 8. And winning this poll right now at 61.9%. Yes, he's a top 5 most important player on this team. No, but close, 34.9. No, not even close. 3.2% people say he's not even close to top 8 important player. Cooper Dejean. The majority agree with me that he's top 5 most important player. Treehouse of Horrors has Raven Bart. I remember Raven Bart. I watch it every year. There's always marathons on of it this time of year. And I probably, when I get home from work tonight, at 9:30 tonight, and I sit down, pour myself a drink, I'll look for Treehouse of Horrors, and I'll probably watch it again. Eagles coach affirms clear demand after Sidney Brown's risky on-field experiment. I don't think there's any demand for Sidney Brown in the NFL by other teams. Would a team take him? Sure. But Sidney Brown's not helping any trades along. He's not commanding anything major in a trade. He's a change of scenery trade, and that's about it. Same thing with Keely Ringo. Those guys have no value in the trade market. But the trade deadline's heating up. We might come on the air on Monday and be breaking down a big trade of the Eagles. Or a couple minor ones, or none. Who knows? But with the Dolphins and Ravens game playing out the way it did, the Ravens might be looking to add. The Dolphins might be in, big-time sell mode now. Good morning, Eric. How you doing? Yes, I would give up 3 first-round picks for Myles Garrett. They're going to be low picks. We can always move up. And Myles Garrett makes us have a gangrene defense, a.k.a. 2 more rings possibly. The risk versus reward, Eric. Risking 3 firsts. If you win a Super Bowl in those 3, maybe 2 in those 3 years, totally makes it worth it, right? You deal with the consequences later. Watch Rob Zombie's Halloween movies for the first time in a long time, and I'll say that Ridley Scott will have some company in the doghouse. I don't think there's a horror movie I've seen that's come out in the last 20 years that I've really liked. That stack up with the oldies from the 60s and 70s. I'm a white zombie, Rob Zombie guy. Yeah. I know, a couple of people I know are big into that stuff, and it just never really did it for me. It just didn't. I don't know. Black Phone, never seen Black Phone. Or at least if I have, I don't remember seeing it. So, back to the Eagles. Cooper Dejean, the masses believe, we started talking about this before the power outage yesterday and the internet outage on this show, that I think Cooper Dejean is one of the most important people on this team. He doesn't have a Captain C on his shirt, but I guarantee he does next year. That Lane Johnson, Jalen Hurts are more important than him. Maybe Zach Bond. Maybe Quinyon Mitchell. But that is it. I watch some of Philly 500 stuff. I don't know why we've never linked up for a show before. Make sure you let him know, too. I think we follow each other on Twitter, but I watch his stuff occasionally. He's a good dude. Tell him to hit me up. We'll see if he's awake this early in the morning to do a show. I'm always open to collabs with some of the big, some of those other big Eagles content creators. Anyway, where are we at here? Let's do a reset on the likes. Last I looked, we had 11 likes, but we got 19 votes on this poll question. We're up to 13 likes. No new subscribers today. Still sitting at 806 here. Yeah, Joey Shake's all right. Black Phone is pretty good, I agree. Yeah, I never saw it. I don't know if it was Joey Shakes or someone else that I disagreed with on something they did. Maybe it wasn't Joey Shakes. I'm forgetting him. Both Browns and Eagles are on a bye on Sunday. Would be great timing to steal the headlines for the whole day. Yeah, look. Both on a bye. Other teams are focused on their game at hand. Maybe you can sneak in and make the deal before other teams are ready and prepared, right? Let's be honest. The NFL trade deadline is typically a letdown compared to the other leagues, the NBA and the MLB. These type of trades happen rarely. How often do elite players get traded at the deadline in the NFL? Someone brought up the possibility of the Phillies trading for Andy Page from the Dodgers, and honestly, I like it. Yeah, I'm not really sure where my mindset is with the Phillies in the sense of whether I'm ready to break down their offseason yet. I don't know. I've been watching the World Series a bit this year. It's been a hell of a World Series. I thought it was going to be a Dodgers sweep in 4. What's tonight's game 6, right? Look, I'm not over the Phillies' loss. I'm not over the running it back. I'm not over enough, and I'm enjoying too much about what's still happening to really think about what they should and shouldn't do, if that makes sense. Cowboys fans think Jerry Jones will make a move. They desperate. Well, you know what? They had an elite defensive player, and they traded him away. If the Cowboys go out and trade for a Myles Garrett type or Trey Hendrickson, I'm just going to laugh my ass off on how ass backwards that organization runs. Terrifier 1 scared me. Clowns are always spooky. Clowns never scared me. When does the deadline end? Tuesday, the 4th at 4:00 is when the NFL trade deadline is. Whenever I think of clowns, I can't be scared because all I think of is Homie the Clown. And if you don't know who Homie the Clown is, we can't be friends. No clown can ever be scary after you see Homie the Clown. All right? Anyway. Again, the trade deadline, do I expect the Eagles to make another move? Yeah. Do I expect them to add to the defense? Absolutely. Do I care if it's cornerback or edge rusher? No, I think both can be upgraded. Do I really, truly think Howie will pull the trigger on a massive deal like Myles Garrett? Probably not. I think the Chubbs of the world, the Phillips of the world, they're your realistic expectations for what Howie can and will do. Hopefully this weekend. Hopefully as soon as possible. I would love the deal done soon so that he's there by second one of practice on Thursday or on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever they get to the practice field again. Could Howie and Eagles be willing to give up 3 first-round picks because they feel they could get one? Oh, this is something that crossed my mind. Okay? Absolutely crossed my mind. Soldier Steve. When I heard 3 first-round picks, this crossed my mind. Because there's no way how A.J. Brown's getting traded by Tuesday, right? But there's 100% a legit chance that he could get traded this offseason. And you're not trading him for at least, you're getting at a minimum a first-round pick for him. A first and a third, a first and a second, third conditional, first and a fourth, something like that. So you trade 3, maybe you get a 27 first back for him. You trade 3, you get a third this year and a first in the next year's draft for him. That eases that a little bit, doesn't it? Then you take that first and you pivot that into 2 other first-round picks that are a little lesser. It's not the craziest of thought when we're both on the same page on that one. Phil, pull it up in your house at 1 a.m. If a clown is sitting on your porch waving, I would just run right up to it and knock him the F out. Watch the Giants get Myles Garrett or the 49ers. Why would the Giants go get Myles Garrett? 49ers could be in on him. Absolutely, it's a move that they could make. There's a lot of teams that could go out and get and use Myles Garrett. The goddamn power outage than I've had in my entire time living at this house. God damn. Power outage, man. Who's the mayor of Coatesville? We're going to catch up on this A.J. Brown thing. Let me see what I missed here. No clue about that. Yeah, Freddy Krueger popped in here. Power outages 2 days in a row. Like, what's up with that? It's got to be my thing. Internet is because of the power outage. Freaking random power outages, man. You lose internet when you lose power. Let's see here. Is anybody in the chat? The winds are crazy. The wind is really, really crazy right now. Just kind of crazy that it's happened 2 days in a row when it's never happened to me before. That's all. Try to reset a few things here. I'm just trying to get set back up here. That's part of the whole thing. Getting set back up. Takes time just to set everything right back up on the screen here. We are here. Some of you are here. Not all of you are here, but some of you are here. There's only 6 people still here right now. Killer clowns from outer space, yes. Absolutely. Yeah, we did get up to 14 likes while that all happened. Man, the vibes, man. The vibes when you lose power 2 days in a row. Brutal on the content. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Pico, get your shit together. We never lose power in Coatesville. But, man, the core, there's 6 of you here right now. Garrett, I am not putting 3 first-round picks for him. So, Duck, you're late to the show. We'll try to use this, and then we'll go back to EC1's comment before in a second. I don't think there's a wrong answer, yes or no here. All right? There is no wrong answer to trading or not trading for Myles Garrett. I understand the no's, and I understand the whys. Now, Steve, right before the power outage, brought up an interesting thing. What if Allie's willing to part with 3 first-round picks because A.J. Brown's getting traded in the offseason, and you recoup one of those first-round picks? And I kind of thought that kind of trigger, kind of hit me somehow there. Like, it makes sense. And then EC1 said he wouldn't trade A.J. Nobody wants to trade A.J. He still might get traded. I don't know. Did he do something new? Well, hopefully a few of you check in. Why not? I mean, it's 3 first-round picks. Howie Roseman's been very good the last couple of years with his first-round picks. So there's absolutely an understanding on why you would. But also, you've got a chance to win a Super Bowl. Myles Garrett gives you a chance, a better chance, to win than without him, right? So there is no wrong answer, but that A.J. Brown part of it, is A.J. Brown going to be here? Can you trade A.J. Brown in the offseason? I think both ways are very, very intriguing. Very intriguing. And there's rumors that the Patriots called and offered their second-round pick for A.J. Brown. I'm assuming the report should follow up saying Howie Roseman laughed and hung up. But I do believe that the Patriots are going to do everything in their power to try and get A.J. Brown in the offseason. I mean, they're definitely one of the favorites to do it, Robert, without a doubt. But I don't think the Eagles are a 100% lock to win it. I think they're the favorite to get out of the NFC. I think they stand a damn good chance as is against anybody. But getting Myles Garrett would improve those chances drastically. That's 3 years of team's future. Yeah, absolutely. And again, I went over it, Duck. Josh Jacobs and Damon Arnett. They were the 2 first-round picks traded, that were what eventually became the first-round picks traded in the Khalil Mack deal, right? But our last 3. Did the internet just freeze up again for a second? At least it didn't go out. I thought the internet was going out again there. At least that was just a brief little moment there. I don't do this on purpose. You know why? Because this kind of shit throws me off. Once I get rolling, if you ever watch my show, the first minute or 2 of the show, it takes me a little while to get moving, right? And then once I get grooving, it's a great show. Anything that distracts from the actual plan throws me off so well. Or so bad. AJ's on his phone scrolling through his cryptic tweet generator. I heard a rumor that he deleted every single nice thing he ever said about Jalen Hurts on Twitter. We don't know that Garrett will fit here. And I brought that up, Duck. Would Vic Fangio pivot his system enough to fit Myles Garrett? You're not dropping Myles Garrett into coverage. Yes, it did. Look, the win, man. I was like, I thought I just heard something. Perfect timing to go into my weekly picks. I haven't even done weekly picks the last couple of weeks. I could go through the games. I'm going to go through the schedule, and we'll see what I think. Let's roll through the NFL schedule tomorrow, Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. Bears in Cincinnati. The Bears are 2.5-point favorites. I will say the Bears cover that spread. The Bengals are going to lose that game big time. Vikings at Lions. Got a lot of big spreads. Lions are 9.5-point favorites. This is just not my freaking week. Not at all. Yes, you do have to pay Carter and Davis, and his cap hit is not big. Myles Garrett the next couple of years. Is hands down the best YouTube no notes. Yeah, that's right. I do use notes. I get rattled way too easy. Way too easy. Garrett's contract as is will be heavy lift. Absolutely. Garrett hits quarterbacks with helmets. He'll fit right in here. Oh, my God. It's not my week, man. Not my week. This week has been brutal. I have Comcast internet. Yeah. So the power went out the first time. The second and third time, it was definitely the internet. If pause was a person, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I got to wrap the show up early today anyway because it's Halloween. I got to get to work. But, man, guess we'll never get that crucial Lions game spread. It was 9.5-point spread. I'm taking the Lions in that game. Halloween's killing me, yeah. Here we go again. Yeah, look, it is what it is. We got Wilford Brimley in a house. His contract will be heavy lift. The Eagles were in on Parsons. Exactly. Exactly, Steve. Exactly. I think there's validity to the rumor that the Eagles have inquired. I don't know the validity if they're in with 3 first-round picks. That is what I'm unsure of. Man, I would love it. I would love it. It would sure as shit make my day really fast. Thank you. Thank you, Robert. It's not the win. It's the yeah, I haven't checked my diabetes today. That's why, right? Is that what it is? God damn. The algo is definitely kicking my ass. I've gotten too good, too fast. And everyone wants to crush me. I gained like 3 subscribers this week. All right, so we went over the Lions game. All right, Packers hosting the Panthers. Packers are 13.5-point favorites. I'm taking the Panthers to cover. Feel like a 10-point win for the Packers. Titans at hosting the Chargers. Chargers are 9.5-point favorites over the Titans. Give me the Titans to cover. Give me the Titans to cover that. Falcons at Patriots. Patriots are 5.5-point favorites. Patriots win that game and cover. Giants hosting the 49ers. 49ers 2.5-point favorites. Some reason, I got the Giants winning that game outright. I got the Giants beating the 49ers. Don't ask me why. Just a vibe I got. Colts at Steelers. Colts are 3.5-point favorites. I'm picking the Colts. I want the Colts to win so bad in that game. The final 1 o'clock game, Broncos going to Houston for the Texans. Texans are favored 1.5. I'm taking the Broncos to win that game outright. Yeah. I know. It's the diabetes. Always. You guys say beat us. Yeah. Beat us. Always is the problem. Giants are cooked. They are. But for some reason, they're going to win 1 more game or 2 more games this year. I think this week is one of those games that they win. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. 4 o'clock games. Jaguars. Go to Vegas, baby, to take on the Raiders. Jacksonville's 2.5-point favorites. Raiders win that one outright. I got 3 outright upsets this week already. Rams hosting the Saints. Rams are 14.5-point favorites. The Rams smoked the Saints by 20+ in that game. Bills hosting the Chiefs. It's a big one right there. Chiefs are 2.5-point favorites over the Bills. The Chiefs cover the spread and win that game. And the Bills fall in the free fall, and the Patriots take over first place in the division. Seahawks at Washington. Seahawks are 2.5-point favorites. Sunday Night Football. Give me the Seahawks to win that and to drop the Commanders to 3-6. They are my Sunday predictions for all the games. I like it. I like it. Do you think both teams should wear throwbacks for rival week? Sure. I'm not really a big throwbacks guy, but that you can do whatever with that. I think it should be like college. You can wear whatever jersey you want. You can create 20 alternates. I don't care. Unfortunately, Eagles will lose to Green Bay. I'm a big Eagles fan, though. Look, here are the stats, Robert. Under Nick Sirianni, after 11 days off, that eliminates Thursday Night Football, mini buys, okay? So coming out of the bye, and with 11 days off, the Eagles, under Nick Sirianni, are 6-1. Taking into account opening games, which they have an extended bye, they're 11-1 under Nick Sirianni. So long breaks tend to help Nick Sirianni and the Eagles prepare and get them to victory. So I'm not saying that they're going to win that game. I'm definitely not saying they're losing. I'm VJ Edgecombe rookie card hunting today. Yeah, I'm going all in on the Sixers team. I just gave you one stat and that's it. Like that, I got you. Dude, that was too easy. I didn't even twist your arm yet. Off a bye. Yeah, exactly. Nick Sirianni is great off the bye. Look, the Sixers and VJ Edgecombe, Jarrett McCain maybe next week, Paul George maybe next week. Dude, I'm ready, elephant in the room. I cannot wait to see that VJ Edgecombe, Jarrett McCain, Tyrese Maxey backcourt. That is not a knock on Quentin Grimes. I want to see Quentin Grimes out there too. But I am all ready for that crazy backcourt of those 3 cats running around that court together. I just can't wait. I'm not changing my no expectations. I'm just ready. 16 was fun. Can't wait to beat the Celtics again tonight. Dude, I was already looking at their schedule, like through November and December, maybe trying to find a game that I can get to. I haven't been to a Sixers game in a while, but man, they got me wanting to go spend money and buy a ticket to go see them. Good. Packers fans are all hyping up how they're going to smoke us. Dude, I mean, I'm pretty sure we're now 2-0 in the last year. I mean, we beat the Packers twice last year. We could go 3-0 against the Packers in the last 2 years on Monday night, next Monday night. I think it's going to be a great Monday night game. I think it's going to be a tough game. ESPN and ABC and all that better get their shit together with YouTube TV. Otherwise, we don't have a way to watch it. I'll have to go to a bar or something like that to watch it, which I hate that. Anyway, you guys got about 5-10 minutes left. It's Halloween. Whatever you got. Flyers, by the way, with a huge win last night. The Flyers are now 6-3-1. The Flyers are now 5-1 in their last 6 games. We're getting all hyped up for the Sixers, and rightfully so. We're already in full hype mode for the Eagles because they're 6-2. But let's show some love for the guys on the ice. 5-1 in their last 6 games. Matvei Michkov seems to be rounding into shape, literally and figuratively. Darth Vader has turned into a really strong starting goalie. This team is well-rounded. They got guys contributing all over the ice. The Sixers are fun to watch again, but so are the Flyers. I did do a live from a bar once when I was with DSM Media. It was a blast, actually. Absolutely a blast. Sixers cloned Max and put Jimmy Butler mask on him. I don't know. I think VJ Edgecombe right now, I have to go back and watch highlights because it's been so long. I don't know if VJ Edgecombe might be more athletic than Jimmy Butler ever was, even as a rook. Birds are going to smoke the Green Bay Frauds. Book it. I believe it. I don't know about smoke. Like when I think of smoke, I think of like a 20-point victory, Keith. I don't know if they're going to go in there and curb stomp them. But they're going to hit them with an RKO out of nowhere. That's for sure. They're definitely going to win that game. I guarantee my prediction on it come next Monday, because I won't be making that prediction until next Monday. It'll be an Eagles victory. I'll put the poll question up on YouTube probably Sunday or Monday. Who will win? But, man, I'm all in on the Eagles doing that. Now, will they follow it up with a win against the Lions? That's to be determined. I'll have to see how they beat them, whether they smoke them or not. And what happens with the Lions between now and then. But as of this moment, yeah, I'm all in. All in on a victory over the Packers. I want to see the Sixers win tonight. You think we'll beat the Pack so big that Dallas will celebrate us? No. Dallas will never celebrate us. Those cats are barbecue chicken. Don't make me hungry. I bought all groceries for breakfast, and I left them at the shop last night. So I literally had no breakfast, and I'm feeling it right now. The power outages is hurting me. The internet outages are hurting me. The lack of breakfast is hurting me right now. Really hurting me. I eat my breakfast every morning. Without breakfast, it's like it kills me, man. I can't live without breakfast. Anyway, what is everybody's plans for Halloween? Do we have costumes? Are we getting dressed up? Are we going to parties? What is the plan for Halloween for the Core 12? Me, as always, I'll be working. Maybe this will be the last time on a Halloween. I don't know. Someday I'll have a Halloween off again. I can't say I've had a Halloween off in 20 years. Maybe longer. Never been my favorite holiday anyway. Growing up in Delco where I did, I grew up on a small little cul-de-sac in Seacane with 12 other houses, none of which had kids in them. Trick-or-treater kids. So I never really enjoyed Halloween because you're going to knock on 10 doors. My dad always worked, so, he wasn't taking us to other neighborhoods. There weren't even any neighborhoods close. You get all dressed up to get a little bag of candy. The one person on the block used to hand out loose candy, like scoop her hand into a bag of M&Ms and throw it in your bag. The other person used to give out, like, crackers and things. If it wasn't for my neighbor, Jeannie, who used to give us, like, 10 pounds of candy each, Halloween was useless. Oh, I'm going. As soon as this is over, Get in the car, leaving for work, and picking up breakfast. Day off, and didn't know it Halloween. Not a huge fan, but we got candy for the kids. See, luckily, I worry about it because, I'm in a new neighborhood here in Coatesville. And we were here last year, but again, we work, so we don't know. We don't know if we get knocked on our door, but I would assume not because our street, Strasburg Road, is pretty busy. I'm going to work as a coworker for Halloween. Gotcha. I'm a pizza maker today. That's my costume. And I'll be making a lot of pizza. This shirt will not be black at the end of the day. It will be a very mixed color of flour and cornmeal. Okay? I'll have a yellowish white color to it by the end of the day with little red stains on it, so it'll look like blood from all the pizza sauce I'll probably splash up on me. I have no idea what to expect this year on Halloween. Being that it's a Friday, Halloween's always one of the busiest days of the year. But a Friday, you'd have to think you get that Halloween rush, but then you get the after party rush as well. Going as a lazy bum? I am a lazy bum. Put on an apron. I don't like wearing aprons. I really don't. You should dress up as a pizza. No. I dressed up a few times on Halloween at the pizza shop, and it's the most annoying thing because when you're busy and sweating in the kitchen, the last thing you want on is a costume. How busy will it be? I don't know. I'm going to go get a gobbler for lunch. That is disgusting. That is disgusting, okay? The gobbler is the worst. The absolute worst. Even with the power outage and 2 other internet outages today, let's see what we got here. No new subscribers. We did get 15 likes. We did get 22 votes on the poll. Yes, 68% of you would take Myles Garrett for 3 first-round picks. 32% of you said no, you would not offer 3 firsts for Myles Garrett. And I think both answers are accurate, like I said. A, Wawa food sucks. B, the gobbler sucks even more. C, Thanksgiving food is meant for Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving only, and maybe the day after leftovers. Outside of that, you don't see me eating turkey. You don't see me eating stuffing, turkey gravy, cranberry sauce, all that shit. No, ever, never. Stuffing and cranberries. I didn't do that. One year I did make a turkey noodle soup for everybody. Don't tell anybody because it was probably illegal. So I used my own leftovers to do it, but it was damn good. I could do a turkey pizza, put a little turkey gravy down, a little stuffing and turkey, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of cranberry sauce. I don't do cranberry sauce, though. Cranberry sauce, to me, is the worst side dish on Thanksgiving. We'll get into Thanksgiving sides, when we do a show in Thanksgiving, season there in a couple of weeks. It's only a couple of weeks away, to be honest with you. It's like 4 weeks away, Thanksgiving, not even. 4 weeks from yesterday, actually. It's kind of crazy. But I think I got to wrap this up. I got to finish getting ready. I got to get breakfast. I got to get to work. I know we already have 3 orders in the system for today. So a Thanksgiving stromboli, I think a pizza, it would work better as a pizza, wouldn't it? At least that would be my guess. It would work out better as a pizza. I don't know. We all have a very happy and safe Halloween. Your birthday's on Thanksgiving this year. Well, maybe that'll convince me to do a show on Thanksgiving then just to celebrate you. If any breaking news happens with the Eagles, unless it happens during Halloween rush, I will try to jump on live from the pizza shop or at least record a video breaking the news to you guys. But guys, if you haven't liked, subscribe, share. If you haven't done those things, please do. Guys, the algo took a hit this week. We only gained a few subscribers. The numbers have been down. I need you guys this weekend more than ever, hitting those buttons, telling your friends. You know what you should be for Halloween? You should just tape a QR code to your shirt and walk around and have people subscribe. And that QR code takes you right to the channel. Happy Halloween. That's right. Absolutely. I'll be there all day. Bubbles up always, my man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Eric. Always appreciate you. Appreciate everybody that tunes in. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to get out of here before the power internet goes out again. I'm going to get to work. We will see you on Monday. Got a great guest lined up. I'll confirm it this weekend. Great guest, interesting topic next week on Wednesday, but I got to confirm it this weekend before it's a lock and I announced it. But guys, you guys all have a great, great day, weekend, Halloween. Bubbles up and go Birds.